Welcome to the mid-January LA Dodger Talk Report, brought to you by U.S. Water Systems. You know, these are kind of the dog days for baseball fans in general, and especially Dodger fans. Sometimes we just don't have a lot to talk about. We speculate. We say, are the Dodgers going to make a trade for somebody else? Who are they going to trade? Who are they going to sign? Is there another free agent out there? You know, as I look at the roster, and believe me, I do so a lot, there's some possibilities. I'm not sure that Ned is done. But, you know, one of the things I look at is when I look at third base, I see Juan Uribe there, and I say, why? Why is Juan Uribe still on the team? I guess it's because he's a good soldier. I guess it's because he's a good teammate. It's not because he can hit. I mean, the first 2 years of his contract have been horrible. I'm inclined to just cut bait, move on. For some reason, they're not. Maybe they know something I don't know. I doubt it. But maybe they do. So that's my only real question as to why he's still on the roster. The other guy, Justin Sellers, I mean, I don't think he has a chance. He's really maybe the only true backup shortstop on the team. But I don't quite get that. I think the Dodgers could do better, but hey, that's the way it is. Justin Upton next to trade to the Seattle Mariners. So maybe that's going to step up the Mariners' interest in Andre Ethier. And, you know, I really have mixed feelings about trading Andre Ethier. I think he could put up a monster year this year. He really could, especially if Mark McGwire can help him in his quest to hit left-handers better. And if anybody can, McGwire probably can. That said, the Dodgers really don't have a leadoff hitter. They really don't have somebody that's going to fit in that number one spot. You know, they were hoping Dee Gordon would be that guy. Every team that's been interested in Dee Gordon this offseason wants to move him to center field. He just doesn't. He played shortstop in the Dominican this winter, and I'm just convinced he's not a shortstop. Maybe there's too much pressure on him in the infield. Maybe if you let him go out in the outfield and roam, he could be a killer center fielder defensively. Is he going to hit? That's yet to be determined. But if I were the Dodgers, I think I would send him to Albuquerque this year and let him play center field and pencil him into center field every day and see what he can do. But that doesn't solve the problem for this year, for this season. What are we going to do, or what are the Dodgers going to do this season for a leadoff hitter? I don't think Mark Ellis is a candidate for that. I mean, at 30 late, he's just not the guy that he used to be, although he's a solid defensive player. And, you know, he hasn't been able to hit right-handers for a few years. Of course, we've got Skip Schumacher that could come in and hit against tough right-handers, but you lose a lot defensively there with Schumacher at second base. So, or is it Shoemaker? Schumacher. You say tomato, I say tomato. The question is, though, and it keeps popping into my mind, is Carl Crawford at leadoff. He hasn't hit particularly good at leadoff, but you know, if he's going to fulfill what the Dodgers need without making a trade right now, he's really the only candidate on the roster to hit leadoff. You know, I've made fun of Carl Crawford being fat, and you know, I think he has put on a few pounds. Well, he has put on a few pounds. There's no doubt about it. Whether it's fat or not, I don't know. I think he got too bulky. Carl Crawford is a speedster. You know, he doesn't need that extra weight. He needs to be lean and slim so that he can get around those bases fast. If the Dodgers could ask Carl Crawford, Carl, can you come to spring training in the best shape of your life, in the leanest shape of your life, lay off the weights, the heavy weights, let's focus on your speed. If Carl Crawford could come into spring training with the attitude that he's going to be their leadoff hitter, I think he could do a fabulous job. That's assuming that he's healthy. He hasn't been healthy for a couple of years. So are the Dodgers going to go with that? I don't know. If they trade Andre Ethier, then right now the only leadoff hitter that's really out there is Michael Bourn, and that would allow Matt Kemp to go to right field, Crawford in left, Bourn in center. And, of course, he's a world-class center fielder, and he's also a pretty decent leadoff hitter. Not the greatest in the world, but he'd be better than what the Dodgers have right now. And then Crawford could come down to the number 2 spot. That said, though, we don't know what's going to happen. Maybe nothing will happen. Maybe we'll go into spring training with Andre Ethier as our right fielder, Matt Kemp as our center fielder, and Carl Crawford in left field. This I do know, and I'm pretty certain, barring injury, Hanley Ramirez is going to be the shortstop. The Dodgers are committed to shortstop with Hanley because, right there, if he doesn't play shortstop, he's not going to be the kind of player they want. He may say he will. He may say, well, I'll play any place. But you know what? Hanley thinks he's a shortstop. And it gets in his head when he doesn't play shortstop. Let him play shortstop. Hopefully he'll learn to play better. Some of the Dodger instructors can work with him, and hopefully he'll be an adequate shortstop and maybe return to his MVP type numbers. He's only going to be 29 this year, so he should be in the prime of his career. I worry a little bit about Adrian Gonzalez at first base. You know, he's had 4 years of decline in home runs, but some of that could be contributed to the surgery that he had on his shoulder, which he should be totally recovered from now. And the second one, Adrian's kind of a laid-back guy, and I don't think the East Coast media was a good match for Adrian. So maybe back out in L.A., he's going to be more laid back, and maybe he'll get his mojo back and put up that 30-plus home runs and 300, hit 330 and 120 RBIs. If he does, that's going to be huge in the middle of the Dodger lineup. So as it stands right now, if spring training were to break today, my choice would be having Carl Crawford lead off, Mark Ellis hitting second, with Shoemaker hitting against the tough right-handers. Then I would hit probably Adrian Gonzalez third, simply so I could get that left-right-left thing. I'd put Adrian Gonzalez third, Matt Kemp fourth, followed by Andre Ethier fifth, and then Hanley Ramirez sixth. Or you could flip them around any way you want, but that gives you that total left-right-left, which I like that. There's a lot to be decided. We've got 8 starting pitchers. We've got a great bullpen. Not all the starting pitchers are going to be on the team when the season starts. We've got 8. I could see 6, maybe 7. I've always thought that Aaron Harang could flourish in the bullpen because he can still bring it on short periods, short bursts. So maybe Aaron Harang could go to the bullpen for the first part of the season, serve as a backup starter. I think most likely to be traded is Chris Capuano. I would think he has the most value, but that may not happen until spring. The Dodgers may want to see if Lilly's healthy, if Billingsley's healthy, Kershaw's totally healthy. Rue, what about Rue? We don't even know. I mean, the Dodgers say, and they've got him slotted for the 3rd spot. Can he really pitch there? The starting lineup should be very good for the Dodgers this year, providing nobody really crashes and burns. We've got a lot to hope for, but there's a lot of questions. People recovering from injuries and the possibility of trades looming. So there you are. That's the mid-January report of the Dodgers. If you've got some better ideas, bring it on, tell me. I'm going to try to do this every week, maybe every other week, and have just a little video podcast, give you something more to talk about. Maybe you can come up with some ideas on what we might talk about the next time. It's Mark Timmons, LA Dodger Talk. See you next week.